What's up and welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. Today, thanks to WizKids, we got this awesome new Guardians of the Galaxy Heroclix 400 set to unbox for you and check out. Of course, like all the others, you got 4 figures. They're playable at 400 or 300 points. Just a ready-to-play team right out of the box. So, looks pretty awesome. Without further ado, let's open it up and check it out. All right, popping them out here. Looks like we just got the cards stuck in there. Okay, so we do get Star-Lord, Gamora, Baby Groot, and Raccoon. It looks like we also get a little bystander Baby Groot. Okay, cool. Some precision exploit, tiny size, toughness, and a special move power that gives him sidestep. And when Baby Groot moves, after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to an adjacent opposing character that wasn't adjacent to Baby Groot when he started moving. Okay. What the heck? You could just move up, damage somebody, sidestep into another person, and damage them. That's pretty nasty for a little, let's see, does he do anything? He does not any points. I don't see a point value. So I'm guessing one of them generates this guy. I don't think you can actually play him. But anyway, that's fine. Let's open up the rest of these and check them out. So starting us off with Star-Lord, we got the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Marksman and Soldier keywords. And the Guardians team ability as well, so you can't have his combat values modified by opposing characters. And it looks like these are all coming in at 100 or 75 points. But Star-Lord starts with a trait that once per game, when Star-Lord would be KO'd, if there are 3 or more friendly characters with the Guardians of the Galaxy keyword, instead turn him to click number 7, Protected Pulse Wave. So that is the second to last click, and holy frick, he's got 12 attack, 19 impervious, and a 2 damage with Perplex and some running shot. So he's got some pretty crazy stats and powers there on his last couple clicks. And otherwise, you're starting off with some Hypersonic, Energy Explosion, and Energy Shield Deflection with a 4 or 3 damage, depending on your starting line. And let's take a look at the back there. You got Penetrating Psychic Blast. When Star-Lord makes a range attack, if an opposing character uses Shape Change or Super Senses and succeeds, after resolutions, deal that character 2 unavoidable damage. Using Shape Change and Super Senses is optional. Okay, so they can just choose not to roll that, I guess. That is such an amazing effect to have, though, honestly. I've never seen anything like that. You know, because that Super Senses and Shape Change is such a universal, like, good power combo. A lot of people go out of their way to get both of those on a character for, like, the extra defense, but you know, go ahead, roll them, see if I care. You're going to take 2 unavoidable damage if I don't hit you for 4 or 3. So yeah, that is pretty great. And of course, Penetrating Blast to get through some impervious if they got like the triple rollout scenario, that's pretty great too. But then he also has a special damage power. When he hits after resolutions, choose 1, give each hit character an action token, or for each hit character, generate a standard terrain marker adjacent to that character. Okay, with this element gun, of course. That's pretty cool, actually. So for each hit character, so imagine you hit a big group of enemies with Energy Explosion. You could kind of barrier up most of them, kind of wall them in a little bit. That's pretty cool. Or just giving them an action token to slow them down isn't too bad either. I wish he had at least 2 targets, though. He only has 4 range with a single target Energy Explosion. You know, being Star-Lord and all, he usually uses 2 guns, so I would like to have seen a second target on him, especially to make better use of that special. But actually, now that I'm looking back at the front of the card, I realize he doesn't get that special attack power until the back half of his dial. So unfortunately, not starting with it, you know, does kind of suck. I wish he started with that. But even so, it's still a really cool power to be able to, you know, hurt the characters that are using Super Senses and Shape Change to avoid attacks. Just kind of got to take a damage and get to that first. But let's move on and take a look at Gamora, who has the Guardians of the Galaxy, Infinity Watch, Assassin, Martial Artist, and Warrior keywords. She also has a Guardians TA. And then you have the Target trait. Okay, so we're seeing the return of the Target trait, which if you don't know, at the beginning of the game, for all friendly characters with this trait, you give a target token to an opposing character. And then for all characters with this trait, when a friendly character with the Assassin keyword KOs a character with a target token, you score 25 victory points. So you basically score an extra 25 points if you KO your target. It's a really fun trait. And then you also have some improved movement for elevation, and she can move by characters, but still has to break away normally, so not bad. You got some charge, combat reflexes, and outwit or exploit on the lower dial. Flurry, steal energy on the back half is pretty good to heal back up. She has another trait, actually, that says at the beginning of the game, friendly characters with the Guardians of the Galaxy keyword gain the Assassin keyword. Okay, that makes a lot of sense to work with the target trait. And then when Gamora KOs an opposing character, if 3 or more friendly characters have the Guardians of the Galaxy keyword, give an opposing character a target token, and friendly characters with the target trait treat that token as if it were generated by that trait. So that way it just works with her other trait, and you can actually pretty much just continuously KO somebody with her and keep getting that extra 25 points every time. That's pretty freaking awesome. I like that a lot. So long as you have, 3 or more friendly Guardians still alive, she can get you a bunch of extra bonus points. And then her special attack power is Blades, Claws, Fangs, and when Gamora uses it, characters that are equipped can't reduce damage. Okay, that's pretty nasty. In this day and age, pretty much everybody's equipped, especially with the dreaded Destroyer armor from Smash and Destroy. That's on basically every team now for the, +2 defense and invulnerability. And, if she hits somebody that's equipped, they can't reduce damage. So it kind of helps to bypass anybody wearing that armor or any other equipment that happens to have a reducer of some sort. It's actually cool because it does get by Invincible too. It can't reduce damage at all. So even if they have like Invincible, it's kind of better than Exploit in that sense. And she already does have Exploit if you play her at the low dial too. So all in all, she's going to get in there and do some damage for sure, as she should. And then next up, let's take a look at Rocket, who has Guardians and Police team abilities. So that's a nice combo there. And you've got Guardians of the Galaxy, Animal, and Marksman keywords. But he has traded probability control, just straight up prob traded, simple. And then his special move power is Sidestep, and adjacent friendly characters have the Police team ability. Okay, like that a lot. Definitely worth playing at 75 to start with that. Oh, what the heck? Okay, Robo Groot. He has a special damage power. I was wondering why his stats and powers were so crazy there at 100. He has giant size, and Rocket takes a maximum of 1 damage from characters smaller than him, protected pulse wave. That's really cool, actually. So I guess in this sense, he's sitting on top of a giant Robo Groot. I'm not familiar with when this may have happened in the comics. So somebody let me know, did he make a giant robot Groot to sit on top of, or pilot like a mech suit or something like that? That sounds pretty cool. He does have Charge, Super Strength, Invincible on those clicks. And he's normally tiny size, but with that special, he becomes giant. So that's pretty cool. Very interesting. Nothing actually on the back of his card, just those specials. But I like him a lot, honestly. At either point value, you've got a really tough character for the first few clicks. And then if you play him at the low dial, even just giving everybody the Police team ability is great as well. And having enhancement also, buffs all their range damage. So very good team-friendly Rocket with that. Last but not least, we got Baby Groot here with the Guardians TA, Guardians, Cosmic, and Monster keywords. And he's got a trait that when Baby Groot starts the game, generate a Baby Groot bystander. If Baby Groot is 100 points, generate 4 instead. What the heck? Well, they only gave us 1 in the box, so I guess we're playing him at 75. No, that's actually pretty nuts. Now, they only gave us 1 in the box, unfortunately, but I mean, as long as you have at least 1, you can, see the stats on that, so you can look at any of them and just use some random other token to show the rest of them or something. But yeah, that is very interesting. You get a bunch of Baby Groots, and they all have those crazy ability to like move up and just do damage to something that they weren't adjacent to start with. So that seems like it's going to be pretty nasty, especially if maybe you just carry them all up with Green Lantern or something, and then they all just sidestep up and just do free damage, free damage, free damage. That's pretty nasty, I gotta say. But then he also has actually the same power as the Bystander Sidestep. When he moves after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to an adjacent opposing character that wasn't adjacent to Baby Groot when he started moving. So they all just have that then. That's pretty nasty. He makes 1 or 4 clones that all do that same thing. And let's take a look at the back of his card here. He's got a special damage power, which gives him giant reach 3 and support. And when Baby Groot uses support, he may instead choose a friendly character within 3 squares in line of fire. So it kind of gives you giant reach with the support also. That's nice. And then, of course, it's just showing us the same Baby Groot bystander and the same power that it has. So yeah, I like that a lot. That's a pretty powerful Baby Groot. I don't know if this one or the shifting focus set is better, but this one is very, very scary. This one is definitely the scariest Baby Groot ever, since it can just run up on you and do a bunch of free damage and makes a bunch of clones that do the same thing. That's going to be fun. Overall, pretty interesting set, I gotta say. I think my favorite has got to be the Baby Groot. Baby Groot and Rocket, hands down, I think they're my favorites. You know, the Star-Lord and the Gamora do some really fun and interesting things as well, but I got to hand it to the Baby Groot and the Rocket. They're pretty nuts. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and click the subscribe button. And if you'd like to help support the channel even more, check the links in the description for the Patreon, where you can see your name here in the credits with all these other awesome people. And as little as $1 a month gets you entered into my monthly giveaways, so check that out if that interests you. But that's going to do it for this one, you guys. Thanks again so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.